On April 26, 1986, an explosion at the Chernobyl nuclear power station in the Ukraine spewed radioactive material into the environment, with immediate tragic effects. 2 workers at the site died within hours of the explosion from non-radiation causes. Another 134 suffered from acute radiation sickness, which was quickly fatal for 28 of them. An 18-mile radius around the plant was eventually closed, and the population evacuated, not to return even to this day. Radiation also contaminated parts of Belarus, the Russian Federation, and Ukraine, and higher than normal rates of radiation in the environment were recorded around the globe. Hi, I'm Tom Wellock, the historian for the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission. I study the history of nuclear power for its relevance to the NRC today, and to capture important insights for future generations. Chernobyl was a watershed moment for nuclear power. It was a worldwide phenomenon that is still being studied for its health effects and how to prevent and deal with severe reactor accidents. While early predictions of tens of thousands of deaths did not happen, the accident did have serious consequences for specific groups of Russian and Ukrainian citizens. For example, those who survived acute radiation illness stood a higher than normal risk of cataract disease. Thyroid cancer for children exposed at the time of the accident has now afflicted about 6,000, with 14 deaths reported. Some 600,000 cleanup workers from around the former Soviet Union were brought in for the recovery work. There are some indications of slightly higher rates of leukemia among the 200,000 workers who had the highest levels of radiation exposure. There has been no overall increase in cancer or other disease rates for the workers, local evacuees, and residents who remain nearby. But additional cancers attributable to the Chernobyl accident may be observed in the coming years. Initially, it was not clear that Chernobyl offered any useful safety lessons for U.S. civilian reactors. U.S. reactors have very different safety plant designs with robust containment buildings and other controls that preclude the kind of accident that happened at Chernobyl. Nevertheless, the NRC closely scrutinized the accident to learn what it could. The NRC's investigations were divided into 3 major phases. 1. Determining the facts of the accident. 2. Assessing the accident's implications for safe regulation in the United States. And 3. Conducting follow-up studies suggested by the assessment. The first phase, fact-finding, was a coordinated effort between several U.S. government agencies and some private groups, with the NRC acting as the coordinating agency. The work was captured in a January 1987 report, and the second phase, the implication study, began. In 1989, the information gathered in the first phase and second phases led the NRC to conclude that no immediate changes were needed in its regulations regarding the design and operation of U.S. commercial nuclear reactors. For the third phase, the Chernobyl follow-up studies, a report was issued in June 1992. That report closed out the NRC Chernobyl research program, but the NRC recognized that the Chernobyl experience provides valuable information when dealing with future reactor safety issues. For example, the NRC determined that it would follow long-term lessons with regard to decontamination, ingestion pathway, and the relocation of people. The most critical lesson of Chernobyl was the need to prevent and cope with severe accidents. The NRC joined the international community of nuclear regulators to discuss effective measures that can be taken to prevent and manage severe accidents, including new reactor design features and other emergency resources. Regulators also recognized the benefits of greater international cooperation during an accident. In late 1986, the United States joined with other nations to sign a convention to strengthen and promote cooperative agreements between nations to provide assistance in the event of a nuclear accident. Chernobyl is an important historical milestone, the most severe accident in civilian industry history. It was rated a 7, the highest level on the International Nuclear and Radiological Event Scale. Chernobyl now shares that rating with the 2011 events at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant. As it did with Chernobyl, the NRC is studying the Fukushima accident for lessons to apply to U.S. nuclear reactors. The goal is always to use history to prevent problems in the future. Thanks for watching.